Good morning, and before we get started this morning, just a couple of quick things. First things first, I sat in with Gamecast a few days ago on a newscast episode with the Count, and we discussed everything from Farming Simulator having an esports championship through to transgender issues in video games. So if you're interested in any of that, then go and check it out, and I'll put a link in the description, and also the little eye should be popping up in the top right hand corner as you're watching this now. The other thing I want to mention is YouTube and their shenanigans again. It looks like they're up to their old tricks and making it extremely difficult for YouTubers to get any traction at the moment. You upload a video and it's not being pushed out to subscribers, and people just aren't getting to see content. So if you like this video or you like any of my other videos, please just do me the favor and share it with your friends, your family, all the rest of it, and hopefully we can get it out and get some people actually viewing it, because it's becoming a pain in the neck trying to get this sorted out. And YouTube, well, they're simply not helping. But with all that said, let's get on with today's video. And what do I want to talk about? Well, I want to talk about Metro Exodus becoming the latest game to become an exclusive on the Epic storefront. And we got news in the last couple of days that Metro Exodus has actually been pulled from the Steam storefront. So if you've already pre-ordered Metro Exodus on Steam, you will still get the game. They will be honouring their agreements, obviously, and you're not going to lose out there, so you'll still get the game. And all DLC is going to be made available on all platforms simultaneously in the future, so you haven't got anything to worry about there. But it is a big deal, and it follows on the heels of The Division 2, Hades, Ashen and Super Meat Boy Forever, and they're all going to the Epic Store rather than Steam. And I believe that Metro Exodus, and I think this is standard for all games as well, but Metro Exodus is going to the Epic Store for a year before it comes onto any other platforms. So I think it's going to come onto other platforms after the 14th of February 2020. So that's it's a year, as I say. It's a considerable amount of time as an exclusive on the Epic Store. And it looks like Epic are going big with this store and really trying to push it. There's loads of reasons for people to be taking notice of this. And obviously the exclusives, but also the fact that Epic are charging a lot less to developers to go onto their service. So if you want to be on Epic's storefront, it's an 88-12% split. So you as the developer will get 88% of all the sale money, as opposed to on Steam, where it's a 70-30 split. Now, Steam have changed things a little bit recently, and there's a 25% split or a 20% split for bigger developers. But the small guys, it's still 70-30. And that's really putting two fingers up to the little guys. And it's making people really take notice of the Epic Store. And if I was a small developer, well, I think it's a no-brainer, isn't it? If you're a small developer at the moment, you're going to be looking at the Epic Store quite favourably. This does look to me like Valve's days of domination are simply over. And they're going to have to respond. Because the drop to 25 and 20% in response to publishers moving to their own platforms, you know, like Origin Access, it's not enough. It's not enough in the face of Epic offering to only take 12% across the board. That's for everybody, all developers, whether you be small, whether you be big, whatever you are. And, you know, that's real competition. As I said before, if I was a developer, it would be a no-brainer. I'd be, you know, looking very, very seriously at Epic. In fact, I'd go so far as to say that Epic are going to crush Steam if Steam don't respond. Why would anyone go with Steam? Why would anyone be looking at Valve's service when they can get far superior rates? you're going to get better rates, and at the moment you're going to get more exposure because as it stands, the Epic Store is much smaller. So if you as a small developer go with the Epic Store as opposed to Steam, you're going to get more money for anything you sell, and you're more likely to sell more because you're not being drowned in all the other stuff that's out there. And let's be honest, there are issues with Valve and the Steam store and the amount of crap that's on there. The fact is that Steam have been sitting on their hands, raking in the money for years. And this is what happens when you get lazy and complacent. Someone comes along and does what you do, only more efficiently and for lower costs. And it baffles me that Steam haven't seen this coming and preempted it. They're already in a position where they're having to react and let another company set the agenda. And if I was them right now, I'd be feeling very, very uncomfortable. And as a gamer, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking this could be very good. But, there's always a but, we need to approach this with a hefty dose of skepticism. Because, yeah, Steam and Valve have been sitting on their hands for years, as I've said. And, they've been happy to provide terrible customer service and a store full of asset flips and outright con jobs. But Epic don't exactly have the best record for customer service either. If, like me, you've been trying to sort out certain issues with Fortnite, you'll have had some dealings with Epic's customer service, such as it is, and it is bloody awful. If they translate that level of customer service to their store, then good luck trying to get help with anything when it goes wrong. And, things always go wrong. So it's how you deal with that. And my experience of Epic is that, well, they couldn't give a damn. They really, really don't do anything when you have an issue. So, as I say, we need to be careful getting too excited about this. It's good to have competition. And, it is about time we had some real competition in the PC gaming space. But let's not get too carried away here, because Epic don't have, as I say, the best track record when it comes to looking after their customers. We also have to think about this idea of games moving from one storefront to another. Because having a game moving from Steam to the Epic Store is providing competition to Steam, but it's only overall competition. We're not getting competition on price as gamers if you can still only buy the game through one outlet. That outlet can set the price, and if you want that game, you have to pay for it. Whereas if you've got it available on multiple outlets, then you're getting genuine competition. What would be better for the customer is if the games were, as I say, available on several storefronts. We could then choose who to buy from based on price, customer service, and overall experience. And that would push Steam and Epic to provide better services. The more platforms offering the ability to buy these games, the better our experience should get, as long as it's a level playing field and there is proper competition. As it stands, though, if you want The Division 2 or Super Meat Boy Forever or Metro Exodus, you can still only get them from one place, while other games are only available on Steam. So you're going to have both. You can't chop and choose. And while this doesn't really affect gamers too much at this stage, we should be looking to the future and where these services are going to go. And we're very rapidly approaching a time when games are going to be provided via a subscription service. I think that we can already see this happening with Xbox, PlayStation, even on Nintendo Switch. They're offering the online service now, which gives you some, old games and whatnot. But especially on PC, I can see this happening very rapidly. And once that happens, having games on only one service means you'll have to subscribe to that service if you want to access that game. Any game you want, you'll have to subscribe to get it. That's where we're heading. And what happens when we have 10 different services, all offering the games we want as exclusives? If you want them all, as I've said, you'll have to subscribe to each and every service that offers the games you want. We've already seen this in the TV space, where if you want to watch certain programs, you have to subscribe to certain services, and subscribing to them all is far too expensive, which means you don't get to watch some programs. So yeah, in the short term, Epic moving to create a competitive storefront is good for us as gamers, but I'm not so sure about it in the long term. It's a bold move to take on Steam, and I think they've already shown that they're up to the task, but things are moving extremely quickly in this industry. With Microsoft, Sony, Apple, Google, EA and any number of others all looking to move towards service models for delivery, I would imagine that Epic and Steam as well are doing the same. Steam especially is in a precarious position at present. They're currently the market leader, but without having any of their own games, if you like, to pull gamers in, they're relying on other developers and publishers to bring their games to the platform. Epic, on the other hand, have their game engine, Unreal Engine, which they're offering at a discount to developers who sign up to their storefront. And they have one of the biggest games in the world as well in Fortnite. Those two things alone are going to draw people in, both developers and gamers. So Steam, when you look at what's happening with Microsoft, Sony, Apple, Google, EA and all the rest of them, and obviously Epic, Steam need to act quickly. Or frankly, Steam's going to get overtaken by Epic and God knows who else. There's going to be so many services chomping at Steam's heels. I can only see them keeping their head above water here, in the long run at least, if they immediately act. They need to cut the share they take from developers so they can compete with Epic, and they need to do that as quickly as they possibly can. And they need to do it across the board as well, and not just for the big developers and publishers. I mean, come on! Have they designed this to put small developers off? Do they not want small up-and-coming developers and publishers on their service? I mean, at this rate, if they carry on like that, they're just going to end up with the asset flippers, and anyone who's worth their salt will be moving over to Epic. They need to get proactive in encouraging big developers and small developers alike to come to the service, but dealing with the asset flippers and the con men who are currently flooding the store with crap. They're doing it the wrong way round at the moment. They need to get rid of the crap and encourage the quality games. And Epic have the advantage here, as I say, because it's a smaller storefront at the moment. That in itself is attractive to developers because they're more likely to get their games sold. But let's get back to this issue of video games again quickly, because I mentioned just a minute ago that, Fortnite is the biggest game on the planet at the moment. And if we look at Steam, we look at Valve. What games have they put out in the last, decade? They used to be one of the top developers. If they could rediscover that genius as a game developer, they could then offer some exclusive content on their storefront. And they wouldn't have to pay anyone to do it. They wouldn't have to offer inducements because it would be their property. It's bloody criminal that a company owning IPs such as Half-Life, Portal, Team Fortress and Left 4 Dead has done virtually nothing with them. Maybe now this will give them a kick up the arse and they'll actually put some of their enormous wealth into creating games again. That could be something positive that comes out of all this for us as gamers. Maybe we might actually get Valve rediscovering what they used to be. That they were one of the preeminent game developers out there. Because look, If you look at Epic, one of the reasons they're able to set up this Epic store is because of their monumental success with Fortnite. That's what's put Epic in this position. And hopefully, as I say, that will give Valve and Steam the kick up the arse they need. But, you know, who knows? What do you guys think on this? Because I really am in two minds here, or I've got real mixed feelings on this one. I think this is a good thing. I think Steam having competition is a really, really good thing. But I think, as I said earlier, that in the long run, we could see the whole video game market, not just on PC, but specifically for PC for this video, we could see it all fragmenting. And we could end up with all these different services from Steam, from Epic, Microsoft, Sony, Apple, Google, EA, Ubisoft, you name them, all having their own services, all moving towards streaming content. And we as gamers, we're going to have to chop and choose which ones we subscribe to. And we're not going to be able to play all the games we want to play, because those games will be dotted around lots of different services. And that's where I see the future being. But what do you think? As I say, let me know in the comments. We'll have a chat about it. And yeah, tell me where I'm right, tell me where I'm wrong. And as I said at the beginning, if you like this video, do share it, please. And talk to your friends about it, talk to your family about it, talk about the issues that I've discussed here. Anyone who's interested in video games, please, because it's the only way people get to watch these videos now. Because YouTube just aren't doing anything for us small guys. But anyway, that's the end of me begging. I'm off to get a cup of tea, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Bye.